Hey, my name is Chad. This video we're going to finally get my red dot that I have been waiting on installed onto the Platypus. So if you've been following along since I got my Platypus in early July of 2023 is when this arrived. You'll know that I had been planning to get this new Primary Arms RS-15 red dot that they had announced like February or so of last year. Initially was supposed to be released in April of 2023, and then it just kept getting delayed and delayed, and it finally came out last week. So placed my order Thursday or Friday whenever I got the email that these were available to order, and got it in middle of the week, and just now getting time to actually take a look at throwing it onto the pistol. So if you can tell, I'm a little sunburnt. Had my PRS match today, and it was many hours out in the sun and wind, and I am feeling quite exhausted. So if I'm a little low energy, that is why I have two matches this weekend: pistol match on Saturday, PRS rifle match on Sunday, and both days getting up super early for me, and I am feeling it. I am wiped right now. So we're gonna get through this anyways. All right, so here's the box that we get with it. Just, pretty basic little box here. And looks like we got some stuff in the lid. Little manual, a little bit of their thread lock, and Primary Arms microfiber. That'll come in handy later. And then obviously inside, main thing, we're going to have the dot itself. This is a window. Let me get you the correct info. So this has a 26 by 20 window on it, and as you can see, looking through, it's a nice big wide good sized dot. You've got top mounted battery, and then your adjustments and buttons here on the side. So main thing I wanted with this is it has the ACSS reticle, so the large outer ring, and then instead of the chevron like on my Holosun version, it's got just a single 3 MOA dot in the middle. So I think this will let me be a little more precise. And let's see, assortment of screws for mounting, very nice. A plate, little bit drivers in here. So it looks like your typical Torx head bit driver. And then this one right here has got a big head on it. I'm pretty sure that's going to be for accessing the battery tray. Yep, so that'll fit in there. So take battery on and off, you've got a little driver, make that a little bit easier. Pretty cool. Okay, so one thing with the Platypus, it is a little bit different slide setup than your typical 1911. So they're saying to install, we need to take the slide off, and then we'll have to take this plate off and get to where the mounting point is. So we need to talk a little bit about this before we get into trying to mount it. So I started to film this last week and got the cap off of my slide that covers it for your rear sight. And what I discovered, since I got this cut for a Delta Point Pro pattern, which is what the RS-15 was initially stated to be patterned after, when I ordered this in April of 2023, I went ahead and had it cut for this, expecting that to be how everything worked out. As time goes on, it got delayed, but my slide did come in, cut for Delta Point, so it's got the lugs here. Problem is, the red dot is flat on the bottom. So I do not have those recesses for the lugs to fit into. So that was causing, this will not fit down flush. So I've got a gap right there, and that is just not, not how it's gonna work well. So I was trying to think of a way to make it work. The holes line up so they're the same bolt pattern, just those lugs are causing me problems. I don't have a 3D printer. My idea was to print like a spacer and just cover those holes or those lugs, and then I'd have a flush point to mount from. Since I don't have that, I got to looking around. I remembered a company, they're called Tactical, and they make some shims for your optics. So if you are like mounting on my shotgun, I needed to use a shim because I could not get the elevation to come, I think, down low enough. I was still shooting high, adjusted all the way down on the elevation adjustments. So they make these shims, so they're tapered, and they're like a 1 degree shim, but you know, you can use that and give your dot an angle, or if you're shooting high, you know, you can angle it the other way so that you just have a little more adjustment range to work with. So my idea is that I can take these and have them, like, one will be angled like this, one will be angled like this. Obviously it's much less dramatic, but I can stack them alternating, and 2 stacked on top of each other will kind of offset and give me a small riser. So I got 4 total. I think 3 or 4 should get me there, get me up over those lugs. So let's see how this works. Okay, I'll try to show you this. It's very hard to show a very small change on something like this, but see if I can get this angled right. Okay, so you can kind of see there, up closer towards the front of my finger here, it's thinner, and it's thicker back here by my thumb. So with that in mind, I should be able to take, you know, do thick on one side, thin on the other, and then thick on this side, thin on the other, and be able to make a flat surface. So I already have everything broken down here. Let's just see if we can make this work. All right, so let's see how this is gonna go. So we're just gonna pop in, get this to mount each of these holes over the lugs here. Snap in nice and tight. That one is thick at the front. Now let's go thin at the front and thick at the back. That looks like I've got it pretty well smoothed off here. I think that I can make this work. So, you know, it's not going to be the prettiest, but the shims do, you know, fit underneath the body of it. So, like, I'll be able to see it looking up from the bottom, but, you know, it fits within the profile of the dot. So I think this is going to work. Well, we got it together. So next we're going to go see how this works. We'll take it out to the range here in a little bit, see if I can get it zeroed. I'm really not sure if this is going to work. If this idea does not work with this particular pistol, I'll put it over on my TX22. Still going to get some use out of this, and then I'll just find an actual Delta Point Pro. But let's get this out to the range and see what it's like. So just so you can get an idea of the size here, like the dot is, you know, it's got a nice large window on it. The Stealth comes with this little mini rear sight to install after you take the plate off. But I like how nice and large this window is. Hey, we're out here on the range, and it is actually quite a windy day here, but we're out here with the Platypus, and I've got the RS-15 mounted up. I've got a target here about 10 yards. I'm going to use my rifle tripod and one of my good heavy medium bags from Armageddon Gear. And I think I got this zeroed yesterday. With the way that I did the shims and everything, I want to run another 10 shots. We'll see if it holds the same point. And if it does, then maybe we're in pretty good shape. If it walked around on me, then, you know, we're going to have to revisit a different way to do this. But let's just get down there, throw some shots down, and see what happens. Okay, so I'm still going to need to do a little bit of adjustment, but let's flip around and take a look here. Okay, so I was kind of twitchy there, but you know, not too bad. Definitely tightened up my groups from the first couple when I was like barely holding into this, like the 8 ring here, sometimes the 9, but yeah, just a hair over an inch, little up and down walking. Okay, so I hope you like this quick look at getting the RS-15 mounted to my Platypus, what I needed to go through with those shims and stuff to get it to work. But I think this is going to work out. I've still got more testing to see if the screws and shims hold where they are and don't like shift around on me. That's the only thing I'm really worried about with this. So as time goes on and I get more time to come out to the range, I will be testing it more and we'll see how it all works out. But I mean, so far, this thing is pretty great. And that's going to try to follow me, so you probably can't see it in there. Overall, I think the RS-15 is going to work out on the Platypus, so stay tuned, see how it works in the long term. And I need to get more time out on the pistol range and work that trigger finger and stop moving my hands. But more to practice. I've been so focused on the PRS stuff, I have not really worked on pistol much at all. Speaking of which, I've got to get my rifle set up and do some load development. So stay tuned, we've got more coming with PRS, more coming with pistol. I've got a lot of stuff happening this year. I really appreciate everybody that follows along. If you could take the time, check down there, make sure you're subscribed, hit that button to follow along and keep up with everything that I'm doing. If you got any comments, please drop them down below. This is going to be an interesting test to see if this holds up and works as I hope it does. So stay tuned if you want to see how it goes long term. If there's anything you want to know about the RS-15, let me know down in the comments. I'll help you out as best as I possibly can. I think that'll do it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.